All righty. Spittin Seeds team here. We got a chance to chat with Kirby. Kirby, thank you for jumping on the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. Doing awesome. So for everybody, we got Kirby, a relief pitcher for the Tennessee Vols coming in, the mustache himself, here to talk a little bit of ball with us. Kirby, recently you've been able to be named a Chinook cedary ambassador. Tell us a little bit about sunflower seeds, what your favorite flavors are. Drop the promo code for everybody.
Yes, I got the opportunity to be an ambassador for Chinook cedary. It's a great company. I'm glad to be a part of it. And use my code at CurbStomp35 to get 10% off any flavor seeds you want or any sampling. But I have to say my favorite seeds have to be either jalapeno ranch or smokehouse barbecue.
Attaboy. Pretty common theme amongst this team.
They're so good. They're so good.
Alrighty, Matt. I think you wanted to go ahead and get some of the questions started. Let's jump into this thing.
Yeah, Kirby, we're all baseball guys here. We're doing this because we love the game. But what about the game of baseball is special to you? What is it that makes baseball what you love so much?
Baseball is a hard sport. I grew up playing it. My older brothers played it throughout their career. My middle brother played at the Citadel in South Carolina. And, I always watching them play and growing up with playing with them in the backyard. So it's just something that's always been in my family. So me having the chance to be able to play at the University of Tennessee, it's just a dream come true. And, a lot of new moments in life are embarking. So I can't wait to see what the future has. And, I love this game and can't wait to, get to do it with my children. So.
Outstanding.
Awesome. So Kirby, then outside of baseball, say, what would be your dream job outside of baseball then?
I want to be I'm in school right now to be a public administration. So that can get me to be a governor, but that's a whole different side of it. It's not really what I want to do, but if the time comes, the time comes.
Sunflower seeds for everyone, right?
Yeah, I want to be college, high school, doesn't matter. And then, if being an athletic director doesn't work out, then I'll coach.
Hey, man, I was a poli-sci major at Tennessee. I can help you run that campaign.
Starts with the mustache.
It does.
So, Kirby, we're talking a little bit about baseball and then obviously the NIL deal with Chinook. You recently had another NIL deal that you announced as well. What was that?
With the Better Mattress?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Better Mattress is a company it's a Knoxville company that is, they're supporting Tennessee baseball. And, they reached out to me and Seth Halverson and were like, hey, we want you to come to our opening as we open up a new store in Knoxville in the Farragut area. And so we went out there and talked on 99.1 The Sports Animal, talked about how, this company is such a great company, then how they're reaching out to everybody and, they just really want to spread the name of Better Mattress. And, we just made a deal with them where they're going to help us as a team with our recovery and everything, make sure that we're in the right hands and that we are able to get back on the field faster and better than everybody else. So
awesome.
That's awesome. And to kind of build on that, obviously, you're a guy that's been able to be affected and stuff by NIL. There's, the rest of the team has some group stuff that's been able to be done. How do you feel the impact of NIL is, on college sports or baseball in general?
This NIL thing it's crazy. Some people still don't even understand how it all works out, but it's something that it's helping. It really helps the student athletes, and it helps all college athletes, honestly. Because we got people that it's hard for them to get by. You know, they're trying to figure out where their next meal is going to come from sometimes. And with this NIL deal, they make some money, they can help themselves in the future. So I think it's really amazing on how it has expanded and started out from nothing to being the most popular thing everybody's talking about now.
Yeah, if you go to a Tennessee game right now, you're gonna see, little kids or adults walking around in the Vollie Fingers shirts. The city of Knoxville was just in love with you. Kind of who's been your biggest influence in your life? Because you've made a big impact on a bunch of these little kids running around Knoxville to be, kind of one of their biggest impacts in life. Who's your biggest influence?
I'd say one of my biggest influences would have to be my grandfather. He just passed in December, but he was a loving father and a loving husband to his wife, and he just loved us as his grandchildren. And he was really he was really close with God. That's where he is right now. He's up there with Jesus. So just him being able to spread the faith with my dad and his brother, and then being able to spread it with me and all my brothers and my cousins, it just really helped because we know he did it for a purpose, and he's living with Jesus right now, which is good. And I just look up to him every single day, and I pray that I know that he's watching over me. So that's good.
Awesome.
Absolutely, buddy. Andrew, go ahead. I know you've got a few more.
Most of my stuff's going to be kind of centered around, your summer experience. You're heading back to Forest City for a second year in a row. You've had a chance to host some of the Tennessee players like Ryan Miller last year, and you got a couple new guys coming in this year. You're hosting at your house. Kind of walk through that experience, what it's like over the summer, and kind of what the camaraderie that you build with those guys is like.
Yeah. So last year was really weird because Sean Scott and Ryan Miller they weren't on the playoff roster, so they went ahead and went to Forest City right after the regular season started. So they started playing and everything, and everything was going good for them, and which is good. I mean, that's really appreciated of. They were really representing Tennessee well down there in Forest City, and then they were staying at my parents' house in Blacksburg, South Carolina. So they got to hang out with my parents and see where I'm from, which is good. And them being in Forest City really helped. And so then I came in right at when we got done in the World Series. I was probably there for maybe 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks max. And I got to meet a lot of new people from all over the U.S., which is good. And I got a lot of new friends now. And so just being able to play summer ball was fun, especially at Forest City, and I can't wait to go back.
Awesome. And you've bounced around kind of your whole life. You're from South Carolina, but also moved just outside Kansas City to Butler, Missouri. Kind of what's it been like to kind of bounce around different parts of the country and what the baseball is like all over the Midwest as well as the South?
Yeah. So I was born in Georgia, and that's where all my family's from. So my grandparents and my grandma, they all live in Georgia, and then we moved to Johnson City, Tennessee, probably when I was 2, and we lived there for 12 years, I believe, and so we grew up there. My oldest brother Cody, still lives there with his wife and 2 daughters, and then right at 8th grade, me, my dad, and my mom, we all moved out to Missouri, in Butler, Missouri. And my brother Kevin was still at the Citadel, so he graduated from the Citadel, and then got a job in Missouri or Mississippi to be the assistant baseball coach at Northeast Mississippi Community College, and is now transferred over to the assistant job of softball at Northeast Mississippi. So he is there, and just. With my family, before I was born, they moved around Georgia, McIntosh County, Washington, Georgia, throughout Sumner, Georgia, and everywhere around there, all in South Georgia. They moved around, so they were pretty used to it. And then, when I was born, we moved around a little bit from Savannah, Georgia to Johnson City, Tennessee, all the way up to Missouri, and back now to South Carolina. It's been a process. It's really hard to say goodbye sometimes, but you just know you got those friends that you are able to meet down the road again, which is good. And baseball, is all different aspects of my life. I never got to really experience Johnson City as a teenager, which is, it's okay. But now that my brother's still there, I'm able to go back and visit with him and, get to experience the things that I experienced 10 years ago, which is good. But, it's all different aspects of my life. Grew up in Johnson City to Missouri and now South Carolina. It's really good. I got to meet a lot of new friends, and I still have contact with friends that I've met along the way, which is good.
Awesome. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the Kansas City area. You got Logan Steencher on your team from Liberty, Missouri. You got Robert Moore right there for Arkansas out of, I guess, Overland Park or Leawood, Kansas.
We played on the same travel ball team with the Royal Scout team.
Yeah.
So
I noticed on your signing day, was that all the hats that you used to play, all the teams you used to play for?
We did a little thing that it was like I started off from like all the hats where I started all the way up until the new one, which would have been Tennessee.
No, that's awesome.
It was good.
So did you grow up a Tennessee fan, or were you a fan of another school growing up?
I hate to say
Go ahead and be honest.
No, from my parents and all my family living in South Georgia, we grew up dog fans, and we were some Knowles in football and Georgia fans. So I grew up being a Georgia and a Florida State fan, and then as I got older, I really kind of started to cheer for anybody. I didn't really have a specific team that I chose for, but no. I started to become a Tennessee fan when Coach Vitello got the job here. So
was it was all TV then bringing you to Tennessee?
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
All right. So segueing that over, then obviously, guy like Tony, really easy to like when he's on your side. when he's not, he seems to be a pretty easy guy to hate based on the Twitterverse. But walk us through. I'm sorry to put you on the spot here a little bit, but what it's like to play for a guy like Tony, especially after you see him take up for the team. The recent incident with Blue that causes him to be out past couple games of Alabama and going into Florida. What's it like playing for a guy like that? Walk us through that situation. What's going through your guys' heads, and what coach is telling you in the meantime while he's going to be away?
Yeah. So he's a great guy. I just love talking to him. He's always got something to say, which is good. He can always make you laugh, or he can be mad at you, but he's one of the guys that you can just get along with. It's like he can be your friend, and then the next minute he'll be your coach. So, and it showed this weekend that he has our backs. He's been the week prior to that. He was always talking about how the SEALs they have to look at each other in the eyes before they jump off the plane and say that I have your back, and the other guys got to say the same thing back. And that's just what he's been preaching to us is, you got to have each other's back, and it really showed that he had our back, and then the next inning we have his back. So that really showed. And, it's just it's hard to put into words, but he's definitely a guy that you want on your team. I know he mentions this is like, we're a team that you want to be a part of, but you don't want to have to face, because we're so-called villains. So, you want to be on our team, but you don't want to have to face us, because there's some precautions for it. So
yeah, absolutely. And hey, Kirby, so another thing with Tony, have you tried to talk to him lately? Obviously, it's great when you have an offense like what you guys have, just hitting dingers like absolutely crazy. I mean, if everybody's hitting that many, have you been begging them to get out there, take a few big daddy hacks and see what you can do?
Yeah, so I tried to hit my freshman year, and then I broke my ankle and then gave up on hitting. No, when we do 27 outs or we do any like pitchers BP, I'm always the guy ready to leave the yard, and it shows. Every time I hit a home run, I'm gonna flip the bat and let everybody know that I just hit that home run. I don't care. And no, I almost got an AB last year against Texas A&M. We pulled the DH in the top of the ninth, or the top of the eighth, or something like that. And if the DH would have came back up in the ninth, I would have had to go in to hit. But I'm waiting for the moment that I get to hit, because I'm gonna swing out of my shoes and try to hit it out. So.
I'm sure we like the invite to pitchers BP now, right?
Yeah. We got to take BP in Omaha last year, and it's a park, so it's kind of hard to leave the yard.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. This is kind of a little bit out of the norm, because no one ever really wants to pitch anywhere besides their own field. But if you could pitch anywhere besides Lindsey Nelson, where would it be?
Oof. I got to experience Texas A&M last year. That was really good. Yeah, and we get to go to Mississippi State this year, so that's going to be another fun one. But I'd have to say it's got to be somewhere in the SEC. So I guess the only place probably won't get to pitch would be LSU. So I can't wait to see what Alex Box is about. They say it's loud, but it can't be that loud.
That's fine. Maybe
Matt's about to get muted for asking LSU.
I didn't ask that question. He led into it.
That was a leading question.
Yeah. We know where that was going.
Well, honest answers.
So
another
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Beef.
Oh, you're fine. I was going to ask if you actually had a chance to watch that JUCO pitcher tackle that kid today.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter when I was getting ready to go into lift. I was looking at all the notifications I got, and I was rolling through Twitter, and I saw it, and I was like, how does that even happen? And I showed Christian Moore, and he was very shook, because he's my locker roommate, basically, right beside me, and I showed it to him, and he was shook. He was.
I would love to see that JUCO dude try to tackle Christian Moore.
Yeah, Christian Moore.
I would pay to see that.
Put him down.
Yeah, I saw something earlier that was like, Drew. That might be the only thing that happens is Drew. That might happen to Drew. But then I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, if anybody runs at Drew, he's just gonna punch him in the face. So.
Yeah, that video, I'd like to know a little more context with that video, because
it didn't look like anything, man.
Yeah, because I'd like to know if there was some bat tosses or some trash talk earlier in the game, because it was a great tackle.
Yeah, it was great form. Have you ever had a moment where you wanted to decleat somebody like that on the field, Curb?
Not in baseball. But
good answer.
I mean, I saw a little targeting call. He might have to sit out the next half, but it's okay.
Jeez.
Matt, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, bud.
No, you were talking about the pitchers BP, and I was curious on who's the best hitting pitcher for UT.
Oh, it's me, no doubt. It's a toss up between me and Seth Halverson, because he actually has a few SEC experience with hitting. So he started at Mizzou his freshman year in the outfield. So he's got it's a little toss up, but
I guess you could argue Drew Gilbert too.
Nah, he doesn't count. That's a talk going around. Is we were debating this the other day. Is could our starting 9 pitching be starting 9 position players? Ooh. And Drew's not allowed to pitch. Their pitcher was actually going to be Christian Moore, and so like we would throw Dollander against them, but we'd have to hit. So that'd be the tricky one right there.
I think Coach needs to line that up, and I'll be at the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
20 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like you guys have given up many runs, so
it'd be great.
It might be a good game.
It would be a great game.
Yeah, so I think I got my money on if I was a betting man, I'd have my money on the pitchers.
Yeah, I think you have to. Got to have your boys' backs.
Oh yeah.
So I surely you guys don't get into it all that much, but something came out in the last week or two from the Massey ratings, Kirby. I don't know if you guys had seen anything like that, but early wise, so Massey ratings, they helped formulate the BCS. So I mean, they're a widely acclaimed rating system, but they've actually rated this year's Tennessee baseball team as the greatest college baseball team of all time. Did you get to see anything about that?
I have not seen any of that. We don't really look at the ratings. We had the number one record or number one ranking, but, we don't really look at that. It's not one of our things we look at. We're just going to go out and play baseball.
Yeah, absolutely good answer. I didn't expect anything different, let's be honest.
So who's like the funniest guy in the team? Let us know about, tennis, what we don't know as, media members or just the general public.
The funniest guy on the team. Oh, I don't know. Seth Halverson, he always leads us in like this, after we get done stretching, he leads us in this big pep talk. It's always funny. And then you got Will Mabry. Will Mabry's always the laugh. And another one would have to be Ben Joyce. As big as he is, he's hilarious. So
I could see the Will Mabry. I don't see the Ben Joyce because he seems always so
he's wildly intense.
It's pretty funny. So
when you throw that hard, you can say whatever you want, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's
for sure
Jordan Beck and Trey Lipscomb like behind the scenes? They're always, business pretty much all the time. You see very little emotion come out of them. Jordan occasionally when he hits a home run in a key moment. But what are those guys like, kind of in the locker room and behind the scenes?
They're the same as they are on the field. They're here for a purpose, and Jordan and Trey they cut up a little bit. But no, they're pretty much business professional, which is, we like to see sometimes in the locker room.
Awesome. Speaking on Trey, he's having, an outstanding season stats-wise. Kind of what have you guys enjoyed seeing through him? I know you've been with him for a couple of years and kind of his progression throughout his career sitting behind, some key guys like Jake Rucker.
Yeah, we coming in, we knew he was a really good player. His freshman year, he had to sit behind Jake Rucker, who was actually at second, but his freshman year was Andre Lipsius, who went to the draft that year. And then the next year has to sit behind Rucker, and then the next year has to sit behind Rucker. And Rucker was an All-American, so, I mean, sitting behind Andre and Jake is, those are some two big names you got to sit behind. And he was told, hey, you need to leave sometimes, by other people. It was just like, hey, I don't know if you're gonna be able to play here. And he was like, no, I'm staying. I'm gonna make my name worth it. So he's gonna stay, and he stayed. And I'm really glad he stayed. He's a really great guy, and he's a really great teammate that you want to be a part of. And it's starting to show. His name's starting to be out there, which is really good.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's something else about this team is obviously it's so stacked with talent, whether it be the bullpen, the lineup. Absolutely anything. How much of a balance is it amongst the team to make sure that all these guys are getting and feeling love to keep a team this together?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff does a really good job of it by, always giving everybody a chance. And, you get a chance, you got to run with it. And if you get that chance, you just got to keep going. But no, we got a lot of key guys, and that's something that's really good. You know, it's something that you got to prepare for as another team. Is you never know who you're going to get. We got 2 whole different lineups that you could see, and you know, as the pitching staff, it's hard. It was hard in the fall because it's like, hey, guys out. Like we knew we were going to be good in the fall when it was, you know, they're leaving the yard every other day, and it's hard to get these guys out. So there's 18 of them that are doing it. Then it's going to be a hassle in the spring. So
that extra paid assistant sure would help.
Oh yeah.
Kirby, quick question: the walk-up songs, or ones that you like, or yours in particular, what made you choose what you come out to the mound to, and then if you get that chance to hit, are you going to keep it the same, or are you going to change it?
There's a lot of good walk-up songs. I like Jordan Beck's. He's got 3 different ones. Birds Flying High on Friday night. And then you got the Simba on Saturday. And then Small Town USA on Sunday, which is, you know, it fits him because he's from Hazel Green, Alabama. And then one you don't really get to hear enough is Charlie Taylor. And I really love it. It's Different Round Here by Riley Green. And then let's think of some more. Gosh, you know, I really wish Ben Joyce did "Fireman" by Lil Wayne, but he's
fantastic.
He won't.
Opportunity missed, Ben.
Oh yeah, and then I mean, there's no really reason why I chose mine. I'm a big country fan, so I had to go with "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy." And the fans love it, so why not?
If my broke, don't fix it.
How awesome the mustache is! How much care do you have to put into it to get it up for game day?
You know, I don't really do much until right before the game. I just put a little pomade in it or a little mustache wax, and just make it twirl.
The girlfriend give you crap about it?
Yes.
Is it one of those where you have to get rid of it in the off season?
Oh, no. It's
way to hold strong, bud. Way to hold strong.
So what's it like to kind of log on Twitter and see the Pitching Ninja have a kind of a showcase on you?
I think it's awesome. You know, I've only got it once this year or twice or something like that. But, you know, it's really good to see that he's doing it with college baseball. You know, you usually see it out of MLB pitchers, and they got really good stuff. So, I mean, why not? But, you know, every single time Ben throws or Xander Sechrist or Chase Dollander and Burns, you know, he's always showcasing their stuff, which is good, and he gets their name out. And I think I really appreciate it.
I agree. I think speaking of Xander, I think he's probably the most underappreciated pitcher on the staff this year. What he's doing on Tuesday nights, you know, has just been outstanding. He's been steady the whole year, and, you know, kind of talk about how important he's going to be kind of in the postseason as, you know, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear on that bullpen.
Yeah, we didn't really think he'd be the Tuesday guy, but he's made a name for himself as the midweek starter, and then, you know, maybe see him out of the bullpen on the weekends. But no, he's really very underappreciated.
Kirby, you've one of the things that's endeared you so much to the fans, obviously, besides the personality, the look, and all of that stuff, is, I mean, you're just an amazing teammate. You're always the guy everybody sees running to shank foul balls, going to get equipment and stuff like that. You know, explain what it means, you know, to you to put that forward for the game and for your team.
Yeah. So for the foul balls, you know, it kind of keeps me locked into the game. Don't want to get complacent over there, you know, just sitting there watching and not doing anything. So, you know, got to keep the legs loose too. So just run after a baseball, you know, it's always fun. And then, you know, always going out there to get the Evo shields for the hitters, you know, maybe it's relaying a message for Coach V to the players or relaying a message to Martinez. But no, it's just, sometimes you always got a few words to say to them. So, sometimes you'll see us, you look closely enough, you'll see them hit me or I'll hit them, or, say they hit a ball and they don't hit it very hard. I'll go out there and say, way to hit that one on the nose. They usually have a little fire back to them, which is funny, but no, it's just, it's just being friends with them and, being really close with them really helps.
Awesome.
So what's your stance on chirping in baseball, and what's the best chirp you've heard?
Oh, I'm not a big playing in the SEC. I don't chirp a lot, because say you chirp at one dude and then you come into pitch, hit next pitch, he could take you deep and then you look really bad. So, but I'm not I don't talk to the other players, unless it's going to be like, what's up or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of things said and that are hilarious, but probably none of them I can say on here.
So who's the chirpiest fan base that you guys have played against?
Oh,
not name LSU.
Oh, I'd have to say either Arkansas or Ole Miss. Arkansas,
pretty popular answers.
Our place last year, and then our fan base is starting to get a little cruel, which is good. I mean, we don't want you to come in here and feel like you're loved by everybody, because then it just means you're gonna get beat up. But if you come out here and we got the frats yelling at you, we got the legends of Lindsey Nelson yelling at you, then you're not gonna like it too much.
Oh yeah. Matt, Andrew, you guys got anything else?
I guess the only thing we haven't touched on is how has Frank Anderson helped you in your career at Tennessee? I know he's probably made a big impact on the rest of the staff, but how personally has he helped you evolve?
Yeah, so coming in here when I was a young freshman, he basically showed me the ropes that, hey, if you want to throw here, you got to be able to throw strikes, and we don't care how hard you're throwing, as long as you're able to throw strikes, and you can throw it over the white thing, and if it gets hit, as long as you're able to get outs, you're good. And there's been some things throughout my career here that I've changed up a few things, like throwing a 4-seam, throwing a 2-seam, stuff like that, working on my slider. And, he's always been there. He notices things when things aren't right. And, he's always there to help. So.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, my phone's about to die. So.
Yeah, I was going to say we just got to about a half hour. So, for the sake of not keeping you forever, I know we could talk baseball and sunflower seeds till the cows come home, but we'll go ahead and let you out, man. Good luck traveling down to Florida, and we'll be following you guys every step of the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for on here.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Rob, you have a good night.
You too.
You too, buddy.